Hello everybody, welcome to part 15 of the Suzuki Bandit project, sponsored by Just Bandits. Last week, you see I had a problem with a bearing in my suspension linkage. Luckily I went to my local bearing supplier and they just happened to have the right ones on the shelf at a very reasonable price. So I've picked those up, got them fitted, but I do need to replace some bolts, which I'm still waiting on. So I've put the bike back together very loosely, just to make it easier to do this week's job. And this week's job is chain and sprocket time. The sprockets are pretty worn, the chain's pretty bad as well, it's got a couple of tight points. So I've got a brand new DID ZVM X 530 chain, which is their strongest chain they do. I've used these in the past on bikes I've had and they last really well. I've tried other chains but they just never seem to last as long as these DIDs. So always something going wrong. So I've also got some JT sprockets for the front and the rear. So one thing I'm going to do is have a chat about the gearing I'm going for. So let me get my pens out. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about gearing for a moment. The standard Bandit gearing is a 15 tooth on the front, 45 on the rear with 110 links. Now my bike currently has a 15 tooth front sprocket with a 48 on the rear with 112 links. Now the gearing I'm going to be putting on the bike is a 14 on the front and a 45 on the rear with 110 links. Now 15 goes into 45 3 times. So with this one, we've got +3 on the rear, and then on this one, we've got -1 on the front. But, does that equal the same? Because going down 1 on the front is like going up 3 on the rear. So should it accelerate the same? Should the top speed be the same? I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Do you think that should be the same even though the gearing is different? Let me know in the comments what you think, and I'm actually going to get started fitting the chain. Okay, so first job is to knock the locking washer back so we can undo the front sprocket nut. Okay, so now I need to get the front sprocket nut undone. Okay, so the ratchet didn't work, so time to get out the big gun and such. Let's hope this works. Right, let's give it another try. Well, that's not going to work, so time to do some thinking. Okay, so I called a friend. It's always handy to have some friends, and he bought his even bigger buzz gun round, and after a lot of persevering, finally got the front sprocket nut off. So now I've got that off, what I'm going to do is remove the old chain so we can fit the new one and then fit the new sprockets. Okay, so next thing I need to do is remove the rivet link from the old chain so we can help feed the new one through. Now I've already ground the pins off, so the front plate should, with a bit of persuasion, move off. There we go, that's off. So what I can do, pull that off, and then now we've freed the old chain. What I'm going to do now is get the new chain out, use the old link so we can pull the chain all the way around and we don't have loads of hassle trying to feed it through. One shiny new DID chain. I'm going to remove that link.
You need to be a bit hard to transfer.
I'm going to put that on there like that. Feed that through, and now I can pull the chain all the way through. And there we go. A little bit too short, but we are going to be changing the rear sprocket, so it's nothing to worry about at the moment. I'm going to put the new front sprocket on, then I'm going to put the new rear sprocket on, and then we'll rivet the chain on. Okay, so I've got my trusty chain tool, which I must have put hundreds of chains on with by now. What I need to do is push this plate over the pins so that the pins are sticking through a little bit, so I can actually bend them over and create a rivet. What you have to do is a bit of the plate on each side with this one, so let me just make a start. Now the one thing some chain tools come with, and some chains even, is they come with a little plate that you put between the faces of the chain, and then that way you can judge how much you need to push the plate on. So if you push them too much, you'll make the link tight, and then that will then create a tight link, and it won't be very good. I'm going to use my previous judgment of fitting a few chains. So that's spot on now. What I need to do is pin the ends over so that that plate can never come off again. But I need to change my adapter. To this one just here, which has got a little ball bearing in it. And then that way just splays the ends over, flares them out a little bit. Now, the one thing I will say, you've got to be careful when flaring the rivet, because I've seen people actually break the pins where they've done it up too much and really, you know, done the tool too tight, and that's not good, because then that's time to replace the link. Okay, so I've got the new adapters in. What I need to do, put that over the end there with a little ball bearing. Just do this up very gently. So if you do it too much, you can break it. So there we go, one chain riveted and all done. Just need to adjust the chain and then do the front sprocket up, and then it's all done, ready to go. So it's fought me a little bit trying to get the chain done with the front sprocket and bits and bobs, but we've got there in the end. I'm so happy I've got a new DID chain, which we got from Wiimoto. They really quick delivering it actually. I was surprised how quick it was, like a couple of days if that. So yeah, really happy with that. So I'm going to call it a day for part 15 of the Suzuki Bandit project, sponsored by Just Bandits. Hopefully next week should be a little bit interesting for everybody, hopefully. A little bit different to what we've done before. So check that out next Sunday at 9 PM. So until then, we'll see you later.